Most people think staying home after 60 is the beginning of a smaller life. What if the opposite is true? What if the happiest years of your life begin the moment you stop feeling guilty for closing the front door? By this stage of life, something quietly changes. You no longer stay home because nobody invited you. You stay home because you finally realize not every invitation deserves your remaining time. Why staying home is power? The biggest mistake people make after 60 isn't staying home. It's assuming that being busy means you are still living. Those are two very different things, and age is often the first thing that teaches you the difference. By the time you're 60, something invisible begins to change. You stop asking, "What am I missing out there?" and start asking, "What keeps taking pieces of me every time I go out?" That's a completely different question. The answer surprises many people. It isn't age that makes you tired, it's friction. Conversations you never wanted, obligations you never agreed to, smiles you no longer have the energy to fake. For decades, you called that an act of life. One quiet afternoon at home, you realized something unsettling. The exhaustion wasn't coming from your body, it was coming from constantly performing a version of yourself that no longer fits. That is why home feels different after 60. Not because the walls changed, because you finally stopped carrying everyone else into the room with you. And once that weight disappears, silence changes its shape. It no longer sounds empty, it sounds like relief. Wisdom begins when you stop confusing movement with progress. A calm room can accomplish what a crowded schedule never could. It lets you hear your own mind again. As Epictetus reminded us, the person who depends least on the outside is the hardest to disturb. The mask you no longer want to wear. Some rooms drain you before anyone even says a word, not because the people are unkind, because the moment you walk in, you quietly become someone else. One evening, a man attended a retirement dinner for an old colleague. The conversations were pleasant. The food was good. Everyone smiled. Yet by the time he drove home, he felt strangely exhausted. Nothing bad had happened. So why did it feel like he had worked a full day? Then the answer arrived. He wasn't tired of people. He was tired of editing himself, choosing the safe opinion, laughing a little longer than he wanted, nodding even when he disagreed. After 60, that performance becomes surprisingly expensive. Not because you become less social, because you become less willing to rent out your peace just to make everyone else comfortable. Epictetus warned that if you want to grow, you must be willing to look foolish in the eyes of others. Most people spend their younger years protecting their image. Later in life, wiser people begin protecting something far more valuable: their own judgment. The man at that dinner left early because for the first time he noticed how much energy it took to keep wearing a mask that no longer fit. When he arrived home, the silence did not feel lonely. It felt honest. There was no audience, no role to play, no version of himself to maintain. Only then did he understand why staying home sometimes feels lighter than spending an evening surrounded by people. Sometimes the greatest freedom after 60 is not finding better company. It is finally giving yourself permission to stop performing for any company at all. You don't miss work. You miss being needed. The hardest part of retirement isn't losing your job. It's waking up to a day that doesn't seem to need you. One retired father developed a quiet habit. Every morning he checked his phone before breakfast, then again after breakfast, then once more before lunch. Most days nothing appeared. No calls, no messages, no one asking for help. At first, he thought he missed his job. Then one afternoon he realized something deeper. He didn't miss the meetings. He didn't miss the deadlines. He missed the feeling that someone, somewhere was counting on him. For decades, your value seemed easy to measure. People needed your advice, your decisions, your time. Then one day the phone became quiet, and a painful question quietly took its place. If nobody needs me today, do I still matter? The Stoics believe this is where many people unknowingly surrender their freedom. The moment your worth depends on someone else's need for you, your peace no longer belongs to you. Retirement is not asking you to become less useful. It is asking a far more difficult question. Can you still recognize your own value when nobody is asking for it? That is why staying home feels uncomfortable for some people. Not because they are lonely, because silence removes the role they spent a lifetime playing. Without the role, they are finally left alone with themselves. And that can feel unfamiliar before it begins to feel freeing. The day you stop needing constant proof that you matter is the day you begin carrying your value within you instead of borrowing it from everyone else. Only then does an empty afternoon stop feeling empty. It becomes something many people never experience during their busiest years. Enough space to finally meet the person they became after 60. When your wants finally grow quiet, something unexpected happens when you spend more time at home after 60. Your mind slowly becomes harder to impress. The advertisements never stop. The world never stops telling you what you should want next. But home creates something the outside world rarely does. Distance without constantly comparing yourself to other people. Many desires begin losing their voice. One afternoon, an older man opened a closet looking for an old jacket. Instead, he found shelves filled with things he had once believed would make life better. Expensive gadgets, boxes that had never been opened, clothes he had forgotten he owned. He stood there for a long moment, not because he regretted buying them, because he realized the excitement had never been in the things. It had only been in chasing them. That was the surprise. The noise inside his mind had changed now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life." For years, those words sounded like philosophy. Sitting quietly at home, they finally sounded like common sense. You begin noticing how many desires were never really yours. They were borrowed from advertisements, from comparison, from the quiet pressure to keep proving that your life was still moving forward. The more time you spend chasing those desires, the less time you spend enjoying what is already enough. Staying home interrupts that cycle. It gives your attention a chance to return to you instead of constantly being pulled towards something else. Staying home did not take anything important away from him. It quietly returned something he had been losing for years, his own attention. The strength of saying no. After 60, one of the hardest words in the world is not no. It is enough. Enough driving across town because you feel guilty. Enough saying yes when your heart is already tired. Enough giving away evenings you secretly hope to keep. For most of your life, saying yes probably made you a dependable person, a good father, a loyal friend. But there comes a season when another question becomes more important. Who keeps saying yes to you? The truth is, every unnecessary yes quietly takes something you can never earn back. Not money, not opportunity, time. And after 60, time becomes your most valuable possession. Epictetus believed freedom begins when you stop letting other people decide how your life should be spent. Sometimes that freedom doesn't sound dramatic. Sometimes it sounds like this. I'm staying home tonight. A retired man spent years accepting every family favor, driving relatives to appointments, fixing problems that weren't really his, giving away weekends because saying no felt selfish. Then, one afternoon, someone asked for another favor. He paused, smiled, and politely declined. Nobody argued. Nobody became angry. Life simply moved on. When he arrived home that evening, something surprised him. The house felt different. Not because it was quieter, because for the first time in years, the evening actually belonged to him. That simple decision changed more than his schedule. It reminded him that his remaining years were not public property. They were his to spend with care. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less." After 60, doing less is not about becoming less generous. It is about becoming more intentional. Sometimes the most powerful way to protect your peace is not by leaving home. It is by realizing you no longer have to leave it every time someone asks. The weight of comparison. Comparison rarely begins at home. It begins the moment you step into a room and quietly start measuring your life against someone else's. Who traveled more? Who bought the bigger house? Whose children call more often? Whose retirement looks happier from the outside? A man used to leave every reunion feeling strangely disappointed. Nothing had gone wrong. His friends were kind. The conversations were pleasant. Yet every drive home ended with the same quiet thought. Maybe I should have done more with my life. One weekend, he declined the invitation. He stayed home instead. He made himself a cup of tea, worked in the garden for an hour, then watched the sun disappear from his own backyard. That evening, he never once wondered how anyone else was living. He was too busy enjoying his own life. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself never to let another person's path distract him from his own. Because the moment you start living by someone else's measure, you quietly stop seeing what is already enough in front of you. Staying home creates a rare kind of distance. Not distance from people, distance from unnecessary comparison. The farther you step away from the race, the easier it becomes to notice something most people overlook. Peace was never waiting at the finish line. It was waiting the moment you stopped running someone else's race. That is why staying home after 60 is sometimes the healthiest choice you can make. The health you didn't expect. Home doesn't make you weaker. Sometimes it is the place where your strength quietly returns. For years, your body lived on someone else's schedule. Wake up early, finish quickly, eat quickly, leave quickly. Even after retirement, many people never slow down. They keep saying yes, keep filling the calendar, keep looking for somewhere to be. Then one day they stay home. Breakfast isn't rushed. Lunch happens when they're actually hungry. The afternoon passes without watching the clock every few minutes. Nothing extraordinary happens, yet they sleep better that night. A week later, they notice they aren't waking up already feeling tired. They don't snap at small things as often. Their shoulders don't feel as heavy. Not because they found a miracle, because their body finally stopped living as if every day were an emergency. An older man laughed when his doctor asked what he had changed. No new medicine, he said, I just stopped rushing. Sometimes the healthiest habit after 60 isn't adding one more supplement or one more exercise. It's removing the constant hurry that your body was never designed to carry forever. Staying home makes that possible because it gives your body something it has been asking for over many years. A slower pace, and sometimes that is exactly what health looks like. Most people spend years believing that staying home after 60 means life is slowly closing in. The truth is that for many people, it is finally opening up. Not because there is less to do, because there is less left to prove. You stop spending your remaining years trying to become someone other people might admire. Instead, you begin protecting the one thing that grows more valuable with every passing year. Your peace. That is why staying home can become one of the best decisions you make in your later years. The Stoics understood that a wise life is never built by doing more. It is built by choosing what is truly worth your time. So if your home has become quieter, do not mistake that for loss. It may be the first place where you have finally stopped losing yourself. The house never changed. The man living inside it did. If this reflection stayed with you today, leave a like so more people can discover it. Subscribe to Move or Die, Stoic, for more timeless wisdom from the world's greatest philosophers. And tell us in the comments, what has become more valuable to you after 60? Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.